Off the Ivy, a Chicago Cubs podcast with Dan Bernstein, Matt Abaticola, and Cody Del Mendo on 312 Sports.
It's Off the Ivy on 312 Sports, brought to you by Chicago Window, guys. That's Russ Armstrong. He's the owner. He owns the factory. Call him, 847-302-9171. And check out the 5-star reviews at ChicagoWindowGuys.com. You know what we have tonight, as far as we know, for the moment, baseball here in Chicago. And whether or not it ends up getting postponed due to the smoke here from the Canadian and Minnesota wildfires, we do not know. But as of right now, we do believe we'll be back to baseball in Chicago this evening with the Cubs and the Twins.
Yeah, we had a travel baseball playoff game postponed last night, so we'll see what happens with the Cubs. I mean, they pretty much use the same weather system, same grading factor as far as 10-year-old youth baseball and Major League Baseball. So we'll see if the Cubs get their second half started. 54-42, they're 5 games back of Milwaukee. They have a full 1-game lead on Philadelphia now with the Phillies loss last night to the Mets as Major League Baseball resumed last night. They get that off day today and continue their weekend series, so one of those odd situations there. But for our Chicago Cubs, there are 66 games remaining in this season. So it's a 66-game season for the second half. Can the Cubs catch the Milwaukee Brewers, who, again, have a 5-game lead in the NL Central? So, Cody, I ask you, how can the Chicago Cubs catch the Milwaukee Brewers to win the division this year?
Well, I guess that leads in the top 5 things that will need to happen for the Cubs to catch the Brewers. Number 1, PCA has to beat the final boss, and that is be the MVP for an entire season, not just for a first half. That is the only thing left the critics have, is can he do it for a full season? And with the way that we have discussed his swing adjustments, his approach, his increased walk rate, I think there's some sustainability with what he's doing. Will he have an OPS over 1,000 in the last 2 months of the year? I would probably guess not, but this guy is a wild thing to look at when you go to his Baseball Reference or Fangraphs page. So who knows? Maybe he could. Number 2. Alex Bregman's got to post an 846 OPS in the second half. That's not for the season, because I don't think it's going to be impossible to get.
846 is very specific.
Yeah, well, I looked up his numbers coming into the year, so all the way up to 2025, what his career OPS was. 846 was his career OPS before coming to the Cubs. If he can post an 846, the OPS, the back of his baseball card, in the second half of the season, I think the Cubs can catch the Brewers. Michael Busch needs to get to 25 homers. He has 11. His slugging percentage dipped below 400 because of a slump here towards the end of this first half. I just think that he's been fine, and I think his batting average is down a little bit this year because they are letting him face more lefties, and I think he's had more success with lefties than I guess he would have in the past. I think him as a hitter outside of April, he's been fine, but has he been the cornerstone piece of the franchise that I think he was coming into the season? No, but I think he's just got to slug more in the second half. Can he get to 25? He's got 11 right now, so we need 14. Obviously, and maybe I could have said this number 2 after PCA, add starting pitching. Like Jed Hoyer cannot sit on his hands. He cannot he can't have a trade deadline like last year, even though they added some pieces and one of them was able to help them. He's got to be more aggressive this trade deadline, in my opinion. And then number 5, the easiest thing. Well, maybe it's not easy, but to me, it sounds easy, is get healthy. They have used 32 pitchers. The record is 42. Can some guys get healthy and come back and play some kind of a role in this pitching staff to help this team, be a get back into catch the Brewers. You know what I mean? Get back in the race and catch the Brewers. I think that health will be a big thing. What can Justin Steele bring to this bullpen if he enters it in mid to late August or September? The status of Ben Brown and how that goes. Some of these other bullpen guys, Hunter Harvey, Riley Martin, and you talk about position players. Like, I haven't forgot what Matt Shaw was before he got hurt the second time, and I'm blanking on the rest of the position players because I know that there isn't very many, but largely pitching. But yeah, just get healthy. I think this team is. Can it get any worse when it comes to injuries? I joke about it in a way, but it's like I feel like it could based off how things have gone the first half. But I think those are the 5 things that this team needs to catch the Brewers.
To me, if they are the Justin Steele, Ben Brown possibilities here, I can't put anything on that.
I agree.
I think, and especially when it comes to how you're going to, here's my bold prediction, because you asked for one of my bold predictions. I would say that the Cubs are going to add an arm, at least, probably not a starter. To me, the single most important thing is get Cabrera back. Reclaim what you think is there in Cabrera. Make him good instead of bad. He doesn't have to be great, but he's got to be good enough to give you a chance. You got him potentially to start him in the first game of a playoff series. And that reclamation project, to me, is going to be the biggest swing of somebody against a good pitcher on a good team, that you can put that guy out there and say, we've got a fighting chance because he's on the mound.
Yeah, I should have mentioned Cabrera, number 1 of all the pitchers who are hurt. Why I blanked on him, I don't know. Probably just because he's just been a non-factor for this team. But you are correct when in terms of, like, they need a resurgence from him, and they need him to be the guy he was for the Marlins last year in the second half.
The guy they hired him to be.
Yeah.
That's what they need. Yes.
Yep.
Same goes with Bregman. It's just a very similar logic. Yes.
Yeah, I think with Alex Bregman and Cody, I don't disagree where he needs to get himself to. I think I've looked at it a couple different ways. Number 1, I've accepted the fact that he's going to underperform his contract. Like, we have 66 games to go. What can he do to contribute to more wins than losses in these final 66 games? This first year of this contract, he's going to underperform, and it's going to be disappointing, period. That's just how it's going to be. You look at his averages, his career, he is going to underperform. Now, I'm not even going to worry about years 2, 3, 4, and 5 of this contract, because right now is all that matters. He's going to underperform. My question is, can he get closer to the 2024 Alex Bregman with Houston? Now, those numbers were slightly down from his career averages as well, but certainly much better than what we've seen from him this year as a Chicago Cub. Can he get closer to that? And there's a couple things I looked at. I looked at his doubles, I looked at his home runs, his walks, and his plate appearances. So he's on pace for his highest number of plate appearances in like 2 or 3 years. So that's good. Okay. He's going to have the opportunities there. He's projected right now to finish with 25 doubles. He has 15. I would say he needs to get to 30. Okay. So 15 more doubles. He's projected right now to hit 15 home runs. He has 9. Can he get to 20? So we're going to bump the doubles up a little bit, and we're going to try to get to 20 home runs. That's 11 home runs in the next 66 games. That doesn't seem like a lot to ask of a guy with his ability. Can he do that? And then his walks. He's actually projected to get 83 walks, which is his career average for a season. So he's on pace for his walks. Can he get to 90 walks? Just increase that a little bit. We need to jump that on-base percentage and that slugging a little bit. Maybe it won't be all through home runs, but maybe some extra doubles will help that. He's currently what's his OPS? His OPS is 696 right now. Yep. Can he get to 730? Can he get to 750? Is that too much to ask? But we've got to be realistic with what he's going to do.
Sure.
And again, he's going to underperform. He's going to be under, but he needs to do more than what he has. And I'm hoping he took this break, got his mind right, got himself settled, and said, all right, 66 games. I'm a quality baseball player. I'm an above average baseball player, slightly below all-star level, right now for his career. Can he get to that point where he's an above average baseball player, where he can be somewhere around a 3 to 3.5 WAR player for these next 66 games? So let's look at some more doubles. Let's increase that home run projection a little bit and get to 20, and let's see what we can do. Can he finish around 730, 740, even up to 750 on his OPS? If he can do that, and the rest of the guys contribute, because it's not all on him. This offense isn't all relying on him. Yeah, I think the PCA thing, he needs to finish out this season strong and not have any kind of dip. Now, can he do the July numbers so far? Would love to see that. We're going to ask him to be June again, all over again. That's not realistic, but you need to be an all-star caliber player and above. So Bregman doesn't have to carry this team, but he does need to contribute. A guy like Nico Horner doesn't need to carry a team offensively. It's never been asked of him. He needs to contribute. Dansby Swanson needs to continue to contribute. But I think for Bregman, the biggest thing, can he get to somewhere between 730 and 750 OPS this year? It's not a ton to ask. It certainly isn't worth the value of his contract, but we're looking at 66 games and making a playoff run this year.
Yeah. I'm not a math guy, but just posting an 846 OPS in the second half, we're talking 2.5 months. Where does that put his season OPS at? I don't know from where it's currently at. Like I'm not a math guy.
Yeah, no, I'll do that. I'll do that when we're done, and I'll text you
right.
what that would do to him. Yeah,
right. But I generally agree with what you're saying. I do think no matter what, we will look at his first year in Chicago as a underwhelming.
For sure.
But there is, like you said, 66 games here for him to salvage some of this first year. And I thought the home runs he hit in Cincinnati were probably the biggest moments of his Cubs career outside of that one homer he hit in Los Angeles. So the list is small in terms of moments that he's had as a Cub, but we need to see more homers and more extra base hits, obviously, because we're talking about OPS here. I just want to see more quality at bats too. I mean, this guy has he's popping the ball up on the infield a ton this year.
Yeah.
A lot of ground balls to the left side, to third or short. And I just want to see better contact. I just want to feel as if this guy has plenty left in the tank, because when we have talked about him and it's in a negative aspect like this, it's largely because he's not showing us anything to think that he's going to turn around. You go to his Savant page and it's hard to look at, and it makes you wonder, is he cooked? And the last week been pretty good, but need to see more and need to see better contact, need to see more line drives, even if they're in the gloves, need to see more line drives, need to see more of the, in the last week, he hit a couple warning track fly balls, and as annoying as it is to see that sometimes, it's still better than seeing him hit infield pop-ups. I think the quality of contact needs to be better above all. And if that goes well, whether he has an 846 OPS in the second half or not, I'll probably feel somewhat better about him at the end of the season.
Yeah, and Dan, and I want to make it very clear too. I'm not lowering the expectations or the bar for Alex Bregman.
No, you're just looking at what's even with a realistic rebound this year. Even if we factor in the remaining games, if magically you could upgrade him to career level Alex Bregman, it's still not enough to salvage the season.
Correct. And so, but here's the thing though, too. I also think that he's not going to live up to this contract, period.
Yeah. It's not looking good.
It's not. And I can't see, I was hoping to get a nice rebound year from what he had last year with Boston offensively to this year. And we're just not going to get that. We're going to get slightly better, but he's never, ever, I don't care what he's not going to live up to this contract year by year. He's just not going to.
Yeah. Well,
it's a contract that Jed signed, and I didn't complain about it. I wasn't mad about it. I didn't give a whole ton of thought to it. I thought, hey, this is a good move. So I'm not mad about what Jed did, and that's the market, and that's what you got to pay for that guy. He went out and he did it, and I wasn't mad at the time he did it, but looking at it now and watching every game and watching him closely, he's not going to live up to this contract, period.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean he can't help this team win ball games and win playoff games, he certainly can. But he is not ever going to play at a $35 million a year level player.
Yeah. And I think what you said it there at the end is like, emphasize that. Like, is he going to live up to $35 million AAV? No. And I think honestly, before the beginning of the season, I didn't think he was going to live up to $35 million AAV a season. But I was hoping that we'd feel pretty good about 4 wins above replacement for at least the first 3 years of this contract. He's at 1.7 WAR at the All-Star break, and again, we're asking him to be worth 3 wins in the second half here. That's a lot to ask of a guy that the sample size that we've gotten through July 17th, it just seems unrealistic, So when you for me, asking for 4 wins above replacement, like we all kind of assumed, like right now we're hoping he gets to 3 wins, And so his defense has been the one steady thing, but obviously when you're paying a guy that kind of money at a premium position for his bat, mostly, it's just got to be better. So we're going to see. It'll be interesting to see how we feel about his entire season in the moment when we get to the end. But
yeah, because I mean, obviously, 96 games in now, 66 games to go. He's at 1.7 WAR. I mean, if he carries on, what's he projecting out to? I mean, obviously under 3.
Yeah, could be pushing 3, like maybe like a 2.8.
Okay, so that's what I was thinking. Like, let's say 2.8, and what we're asking here is get somewhere between 3 and 3.5.
Yeah.
So it's not like no one's going to look at him for these last 66 games and say, "Well, shit, there's your MVP of the second half of the season. Just look at what he's done." That's not going to happen. But to get to 3 to 3.5, somewhere in there, like that's slightly above what he's been doing right now. He can do that. He has that ability. That's not unrealistic to ask. Can he get closer to what he was in 2024? He's certainly going to have the plate appearances and the at-bats to have those numbers closer to that. Can he do that? Can he elevate himself to a 740, a 750 OPS in these last 66 games?
As we ask these questions, I've got some metrics that can help us answer them. And this was put out today on Fangraphs by Dan Zimborski, who is the person behind the Zips projections.
Mm-hmm.
And he said the All-Star break affords a good opportunity to run a full update of the Zips projections, since the lack of action allows me, the system's flesh and blood creator, the time to refresh every speck of data that Zips uses before new games push over my tower of dominoes. And he gives an example here, talking about how the projected standings are the product of 1 million seasonal simulations.
Jesus.
He said there's a lot of PC power and unfortunate amount of linear algebra involved. Zips takes the important additional step of simulating the roster itself before it considers a single game on the schedule. And he uses an illustration here to explain what we're looking at. He said, in most of the million simulations, for example, Yordan Alvarez continues to treat opposing pitchers rudely. Sometimes he wins the Triple Crown. In some simulations, he's merely okay. In others, he misses time due to injury. In a small percentage of those runs, the injury proves significant and prematurely ends his season. When a player's injured in a Zips simulation, the computer fills in the depth charts based on who's left standing. And while it's not a perfect approach, the overall effect is to give us a range of expectations, allowing us to peek as far as we can into the future until the future arrives. And once it has a distribution of roster, it simulates the results of the rest of the season 1 million times. So he's got the updated Zips projected standings through the games played on July 12th. The Cubs are projected to finish now 89-73, 4 games behind the Brewers. The Cubs have a 23.4% chance of winning the division, a 60.6% chance of being a wild card, which adds up to an 84% playoff opportunity. And here's what they say. This is the one paragraph. The Brewers aren't yet slam dunks to take the division, but they're in a very strong position, have the highest projected playoff probability of any team that isn't the Dodgers. The Cubs are the team most likely to threaten them over the next 2.5 months, but while the Cubs' offense and defense are both elite gold status members, the pitching flies coach. And this is one of the teams I'm most watching at the deadline to make some crazy play for Skubal.
Yeah.
That's Dan Szymborski's take after looking at what the Monte Carlo's simulations spit out here.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with him. You know, what they do at this deadline will really dictate if they can truly make a run at Milwaukee. I still think they'll make the playoffs if they don't make some crazy deadline move. But I think that if they're within 3 games going into the week of the trade deadline, if they haven't already done anything, that they will or should make a big play on a starting pitcher. That's just how I feel they should operate, with the fact that like half the roster is off the books after this season. You are getting an MVP caliber season out of your center fielder who's making $4 million this year. It's just, there's a lot of factors into this that's not going to sit well with me if they don't. And even in hindsight, if the rumors come out or the news that comes out about what teams were asking for, this and that, at what point will this front office do something when they absolutely need to do something to make this team a legit World Series contender? And I know injuries have been a big part of it. Well, you can't just say, well, if this guy and this guy and this guy come back, you don't know if they're going to come back and even be good for you.
Right.
So it's just, I don't think they're going to go after Skubal, but I am being very brash about how they need to add some significant starting pitcher to this roster, at least one. And I could live with that, but we'll see.
Yeah, no. And Cody, looking at what you shared there, Dan, to get to 89 and 73, that's disappointing to me. That really is.
Interesting. Okay.
Even
knowing what you know.
Yeah, knowing what I know, 89 is disappointing. That's 66 games to go. They have more home games than road games left in these final 66. That puts them at 35 and 31 in those 66 games. That I feel like with this team's defense and their offense, they are better than 4 games above 500 for 66 games.
They got to keep the ball in the park, because if you don't,
I know they do. I know they do.
The defense can't work. I will tell you this, though.
I understand. Yeah, you're exactly right.
But remember, this is just the median projection.
I know. Oh, I know.
Because
they can certainly finish worse or much better.
Correct. Let me give you those numbers. If they hit the 80th percentile of their projections, it's 93.3 wins. If they hit the 20th percentage, which is at the very low end, they're at 85.2. So it's a fairly tight range from here on in. Well, I mean, depending on the games left, you may not see it that way, but it looks like even if there is what would be considered statistical collapse, they're still at 85. They are the second place team in this division at worst.
Correct. Absolutely. But and as far as Tarek Skubal, I agree with you, Cody. They're not getting Tarek Skubal. I mean, Scott Boras has already said that anyone who gets him, they're signing him to a long-term deal. He's not coming to be a rental player for the last 2.5 months or 2 months of the season. Yeah. And he's going to get upwards of $400 million, right? $350 million, $400 million. I mean, something stupid. Yeah. And he's not going anywhere. Boras is not letting that happen unless that contract is coming with that trade. Yeah. The Cubs are not going to do that. They're just not going to do that. And it's fine. Okay, I get it. And I'm not even sure that they're going to trade Skubal, because Detroit's making a little run. Yeah, I mean, they're not totally out of it. Yeah. They're not.
And that's the problem with the American League too. Is a team like Detroit is still someone in, and you look at their record, and you're kind of like, how? But
all right, let me tell you a couple things then. Here's what you want a couple second half predictions from me. Here's what I'm going to tell you. And yeah, I'm a complete homer, and I
that's okay.
You know, the only thing I love is Chicago Cubs. I believe the Cubs are going to catch Milwaukee and win this division. Okay. Yeah. Jacob Mizorowski is not starting this weekend. He's not in their plans to start this weekend against Miami. Now, it's not favorable. Milwaukee has a 9-game homestand to open the second half with Miami, the Mets, and Colorado. It's going to tell a lot about, I think, this division in the next 9 games for Milwaukee at home against those 3 teams. Mizorowski is not scheduled to pitch this weekend. They said he's good to go. He was good to go for the second half. Well, guess what? It's the second half. You're not pitching. So you're not good to go for the second half yet. Kyle Harrison is out.
Forearm.
Yeah,
injury.
and then the guy with the shoulder.
Woodruff.
Woodruff, thank you. Woodruff's, I mean, he's on the 60-day. I mean, he's out of my mind for this year, as is Ben Brown and Justin Steele for the Cubs. Those guys are not on my planet right now. They're just not. So Jed needs to act that way and act accordingly. I believe the Cubs are going to catch Milwaukee, win this division. I'm going to tell you what I think the playoff teams will be for the National League. In order, the Dodgers, the Cubs will finish number 2 in the NL. They'll pass Atlanta as well. Milwaukee's your first wild card. Philadelphia's in, and the Pittsburgh Pirates get in as the final wild card. Those are your 6 playoff teams. I think the Cubs are going to trade for 2 starting pitchers this year. For me, all your regular starters and Matt Shaw are off limits. The entire organization is open to play for this year. That's my opinion. What you got to do to get 2 starting pitchers. There's 3 names I'm going to look at. Number 1 is Robbie Ray from the Giants. They're going to sell. He's in the final year of a $25 million deal. There's 2 guys from the Royals that I think will be attainable as well. Michael Wacha and Seth Lugo. Wacha is in the final year. No, he is. He has a contract through 27 with a club option in 18. Okay, at $14 million next year. That's not a ton. And then Seth Lugo is in a larger contract where he makes $20 million next year with a $3 million buyout in 28. I'm not worried about those. I'm worried about 2026. And what is it going to take to win the division, make the playoffs, have a playoff run, win a championship? Now, if you were to ask me at the start of the season, are Robbie Ray, Michael Wacha, Seth Lugo championship caliber starting pitchers? No. But they're major league starting pitchers that take the ball every 5 days that are so much better than what the Cubs have. With the exceptions of what's Imanaga going to do? You know, we have Javier Assad. I mean, Jamison Tyone. What are you getting back from Edward Cabrera? You just don't know. There's too many question marks. You've got to go out and get guys you know what they're doing this year. Robbie Ray will be available, and I think one of those 2 other guys you can get too.
Are they all rentals?
Probably not. No. So, Robbie Ray is a rental. He's in the final year of a deal. And then Wacha has a contract through next year, which is $14 million. In 14, it's a club option. Or I'm sorry, in 28, it's a club option. And then Lugo is contract through next year with a $3 million buyout in 2028. Okay. So it's all very reasonable financially. All very reasonable.
And they'll have guys. Yeah.
Given that there's no baseball, maybe next year, who knows? It's all very reasonable stuff. Robbie Ray would be the only rental guy. But you've got to go out and add 2 starting pitchers, I just think. Because then the guys that maybe you wouldn't want in your rotation, great, put them in the bullpen. Put them in the bullpen. It's not like your bullpen is a world beater right now either.
Arms are arms are arms are arms, and the giant pile of outs doesn't care if you're called a starter or a reliever.
Right.
All you want to do is make the giant pile of outs smaller.
Right. That's all Craig Counsell cares
possible.
about. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it. He's got 66 games and a certain number of outs he has to get out. Doesn't matter if your starter goes 5, if he goes 6, if he goes 7. Whoever's got to be in there on the mound at that time has got to get the next out. Period.
Yeah. Well, the one pitcher that I was going to bring up, I like the ones you brought up, Matt. We haven't talked a lot about the Royals pitchers, but so I appreciate that. But the one other guy, I brought up Freddie Peralta a lot, but another guy on the Mets I like is Clay Holmes. He's posting a 2.39 earned run average this year in 9 starts. I think he was on the injury list for a little bit, but I believe he's healthy now. He's only pitched 52 and 2/3 innings. Let's see. Again, 2.39 ERA. The expected ERA is 3.89. FIP is 3.21. Expected FIP is 3.70. So could you make an argument that he's been pretty lucky in these first 52 innings? Sure. But he has a solid arm. He's posting ERA below 4 each of the last 2 years. Obviously, had that really great season with the Yankees, but getting that free agent contract with the Mets afterwards. He hasn't pitched a ton of innings this year, so you're gonna have a fresh arm in a way. He is I think there is a player option after this season who he might, go to free agency. So that's one of those, who knows. But the biggest thing that I do love, 56% ground ball rate, and his K rate is around 20.9%. So, closer to league average, not a world beater as we know, but it's an arm. It's a guy. It's kind of similar to the three guys that you mentioned, like Robbie Ray is past his prime, but still can go out there and pitch for you. Right.
Yep.
I think
Waka is past his prime, doesn't get the ground balls he used to get, but you have a representative major league.
Yeah. Again, I'm talking about, the rest of this year. Like that's my main focus. And you need guys that you can count on as starting pitchers that will be there to take the ball every 5 days. And I think, because it's hard too, because like you have to look at who's going to be selling. Like the Royals are not competing for anything this year.
The
Giants
Mets are
going
to
sell this year.
The
Mets are done this year.
It isn't just that the Mets are done. We know that there's a relationship there. We know that Jed and the Mets have done business together, and sometimes it's important to look at that and say, where are you comfortable doing some of this stuff? And they've done some successful business. I'm not saying that David Peterson is one of those guys, but that I always look to that and say, if you're just trying to say, hey, you got a guy lying around, can we work this out? That I always tend to go back to organizations where the relationships have proved fruitful.
Yeah, and then for me with the Cubs, like I want to see the Cubs get to 93 wins. That puts them at 39-27 in these final 66 games. They're 20-8 in their last 28. It's not unrealistic for this team to have that type of second half and those 66 games. Plus, you have 7 games against the Brewers, 4 at home, 3 in Milwaukee. That's 7 games. You're down 5 right now. Their pitching staff, their starting pitching is destroyed right now. It's not unrealistic thing that they're going to catch the Brewers and win this division this year.
I like it.
Oh wow.
Who did you say that they play? They play the Marlins, and then who are the other?
They have
teams?
3 with the Marlins, 3 with the Mets, 3 with Colorado. So their next 9 games to open up here. I know it's not super favorable. I prefer a different schedule for Milwaukee, but and not being at home as well. But they are, and I mean, luckily Miami is one of the hotter teams in the NL right now. Yeah. And again, they don't have Mizorowski pitching this weekend, so let's see what Miami can do to open up. And honestly, if this can be something where, I don't know how the Cubs view the Brewers. I don't know how the organization looks at them. I know what they've done in the division the last 4 years. I get that. I understand it. But this has got to be something where they can look at and say, wow, they are human. I mean, they've lost 3 of their starting pitchers.
He's not a machine.
Right.
It's just a man. It's just a man.
He bleeds. If he bleeds, we can kill it, right?
Yeah.
So come on, let's get fucking fired up about this.
Yeah. No,
I get it. Like I get it. And I've preached all season long. Cody, I was telling you a lot in the first half. Man, we just got to be patient. We got to be patient. Things will rebound. Things are right now. Okay. Now that's it. You're in the home stretch. 66 games is going to be like that. It's going to go quick. We're in the middle of July already. Get fucking fired up. Take advantage of every game you have.
Yeah.
And hopefully Jed Hoyer can do something to help this pitching staff, because I think you have to add at least 2 starting arms. And there again, you're not getting guys that are competing for awards at the end of the season. But you need guys that can be healthy and take the ball every 5 days for you.
While we've got this pep rally going, I just want to remind you, if you need windows, let's go. If you need windows, pick up that phone. Let's hear it now. Pick up that phone and call Russ Armstrong. Yeah, that's right. Let's hear it from the back there. All the cheers there for Russ Armstrong and Chicago Window guys. Yeah, you know who you are. You know you need windows. You know you watch a lot of Chicago sports and you're bombarded with a lot of window ads and you don't know what these deals. Forget all these gimmicks. Forget all the deals. Call a guy who owns the factory here in Chicago. That way you're not dealing with some kind of marketing company that farms you out to a window company that has no idea what the deal is and sends a bunch of randos to your house. You don't want that. You want Chicago Window guys. You want Russ Armstrong to come to your house. He's not a rando. He's an actual dude. And he'll look around and he can give you a number. He can give you an estimate right there. He's not going to spend 2 hours, giving you a PowerPoint presentation on what windows are. So Russ is not going to take up too much of your time. Because he's the owner, he doesn't have to consult with anybody when he looks around and says, okay, I think we can do this for a number that looks kind of like this. You say, well, this other place quoted me this. And then you talk and he can explain what's a gimmick, what's not a gimmick, what you're paying for, what you should pay for, what's going to make the most sense for you. And then his people will do the measuring, and his crew will do the installation. Those are the same people that have installed his windows in my house twice. We've had tranches of windows put in there. We're almost done. We need more, and then we'll have a fully Chicago window guised home full of windows. That's why I recommend them, because these windows are in my home. Call 847-302-9171 and check out his 5-star reviews at ChicagoWindowGuys.com.
Yeah, and if you don't know what windows are, you call Russ.
Yes,
He'll
he can explain
what a window
concept
is.
of windows. Yes,
Yes.
The larger philosophy of why you want windows in your home. Yes, it's all very important. Right, Maddie, you got me fired up, man.
Well, yeah, it's just like, because it's not unrealistic. It's 5 games. It's 5 games, and 3 of their starting pitchers are down. Yeah. You want to try to hide it and cover it up. Oh, he's got arm fatigue. Yeah, okay. Sure, arm fatigue.
Yeah, the guy that throws 105 has just got arm fatigue.
Right.
Oh, my arm's tired. Okay.
Yeah, and Kyle Harrison, he's not coming back anytime soon. He's just not. And, Woodruff's on the 60-day. Like, it's there for you to take. Do you want to go take it? Go fucking take it. All this bullshit about, the little brother, and they know how to do it better, and they're better overall, and, they win with less money. Okay, great. You spent the money. Fucking Alex Bregman, wake the fuck up. Start playing fucking baseball. Seriously, dude. You're not going to be a $35 million a year player. Get that out of your fucking brain right now. But go out there and help this team win games over the next 66. Yeah. They're making the playoffs. Do you want to be a wild card team, or do you want to win the fucking division? It's in your hands.
Yeah. I'm fired up.
You have 7 games with the Brewers, dude. 7 games left.
Yeah, you got a
just
big
in those games alone, you could take the fucking division over.
Yeah.
The rest of it is all fucking extra. Beat those teams and kick the shit out of the Brewers. Let's go.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm tired of it, man. It's bullshit.
You want to talk about being tired?
Fucking hillbillies up north. I mean, seriously, how does that work? How do you live up north and you're a hillbilly? How does that happen? It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. I think the 5 things I gave, adding pitching, getting healthy, Bregman just being better. If it's not posting a 846 second half OPS, it's just be better. PCA, make the best case you can to beat out Shohei Ohtani for MVP.
Yes, sir.
And then if I could take Michael Busch out and just put Nico Horner be better. You could put 2 or 3 other players in place of my point about Michael Busch. I just think Michael Busch is a cornerstone piece of this franchise, and he's been fine, but he hasn't been the guy, or not the guy, but one of the guys. Last year, this guy hit 30 plus homers, and he's got 11 at the break. We need to see more slug from Busch, and he had a good weekend against the Reds. Hopefully going in the second half, this is part of an igniter. So I could put Seiya there, I could put Nico there, whatever it is. You need another guy to join PCA, and with the thought of Bregman being better as well. And even if not, your offense hasn't been the problem. It's all about pitching. Adding pitching, like you said, is going to be so important before the trade deadline, and it will be such a letdown if they don't do it in a significant way. And,
don't sit in your hands and hope that you get guys back and you find that $20 bill in your pants pocket, like you mentioned, Dan. Go out and be proactive with it. Make it happen. Make it happen, and move some of your starters into your bullpen, because you need that help as well too. Seriously, just go ahead and do that. And we talk about the second half of the season. It starts tonight at Wrigley with Minnesota Twins in town. It's a night game tonight, so you get that Friday night game. I assume that's
if they play it
Friday. If they play, correct. It's a Friday night, and that's good. I'm glad that it's later in the day, because you have more time now for this to clear up. But I don't think it clears up until Tuesday or Wednesday of next week completely, from what I saw. You have 2 afternoon games, Saturday, Sunday, but it starts tonight in Wrigley. And listen, everybody's had the week off except PCA. You had the week off. don't come out flat tonight at home. Not ready to play baseball. Like, don't piss me off by the second inning. Get out there ready to fucking play baseball. Seriously.
Matt just firing us all up with this like rally
cry. I'm sorry, but it's like I'm tired of it.
By the second inning, come out,
right?
No, play hard.
Listen, I get the roles that we've developed for this podcast. I understand it. I know my lane, but it's like I'm tired of it, man. Like this team is too good to be this fucking bad at times.
I agree.
And I'm tired of the Brewers, and their pitchers are hurt. The fucking robot can't pitch. Oh, I'm good to go for the second half. Really? Well, where are you this weekend, bud? Oh, is your arm still fatigued? Like, come on, man. Like, yeah, don't piss me off today. Come out ready to go against this Twins team. Beat the shit out of this Twins team at home. Yeah. And then you got Detroit. Let's go. Scooble's pitching tonight. So are you going to see him in the next six? Right. So, like, get ready for that. You'll see him at the back end of your series with Detroit. Let's get ready to play some baseball, man.
All right, let's charge out of the clubhouse with that.
Well, hang on. Colin Ray and Bailey Ober.
Okay.
Bailey Ober 6'9".
Yeah, it's a big dude.
Jesus.
And he's like 270 too.
Like, bro, there's a sport with pads and a helmet and a football. Go play that. 6'9".
You're kicking Bailey Ober out of baseball?
He's too big. That's
okay.
Frighteningly big.
I want to get out of your way right now.
6'9" on the mound.
Well, somebody's ready for the season to resume. I think that's pretty obvious.
Rough.
He's banging his head against a locker for a baseball game.
I was watching replays of like minor league games this week. Like, what's happening?
That's okay. No, man, we need it.
Mets and Phillies last night. Come on.
That'll carry you into your weekend here on Off the Ivy, a Chicago Cubs podcast on 312 Sports, brought to you by Chicago Window Guys. Call the owner, Russ Armstrong, at 847-302-9171 and read all his 5-star reviews at chicagowindowguys.com.
Off the Ivy, a Chicago Cubs podcast with Dan Bernstein, Matt Abaticola, and Cody Del Mendo on 312 Sports.